Hey guys, I was just thinking about some embarrassing stuff that happened from my youth when I was a little kid. I grew up with my cousins and my aunt and uncle, right? My cousin, he's like 4 years younger than me. And one of the things that we would do is we would use a tape recorder and we'd make silly tapes, you know. That was before I could do videos for YouTube. So I made cassette tapes. And I remember one that he did. We made up this song called Everybody Stinks. And he's like, Mommy stinks, and Daddy stinks, and Brian stinks, and everybody stinks in the world, even, no, not God. You know, he's thinking like, he's going to say even God stinks, right? But he's thinking, you know, I'm really little. I don't know if I'm ballsy enough to say God stinks, you know. He's thinking like God's going to be up there like, oh yeah, you little shit. So I was thinking about that story, and I remembered about that time. I was pretty young too, of course. And I remember my favorite song was Heart Attack by Olivia Newton-John. I don't even really remember the song. I just remember the part where she's like, you're giving me a heart attack, and it's like echoes, heart attack, hack, right? And so that was my favorite song. And I had a cassette tape of it. And I would always leave it queued up to the end, so every time I heard it come on the radio, I'd run over there and hit record and record it again. So before too long, I had this loop tape that was just this song over and over. I would just listen to it over and over and over again. And that was my shit. That was my jam for quite a while, until Mr. Roboto by Styx, right? You know, like, Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Only I thought he said, don't know what he got, Mr. Roboto. Don't know. I still thought it was cool, even though it was stupid if you think about it that way. But I was a dumb kid. I was a really dumb kid. Like, another embarrassing thing was one time I decided it would be a good idea to work out and do pull-ups on the shower curtain rod. But I was really little, you know, so I had to jump up there to grab it. So that was my plan. I was going to jump up there and do pull-ups. So I did. I jumped up there, blam, fell down in the bathtub. And my aunt comes running in there, and I had to explain why I'm laying in the bathtub covered up with a shower curtain. I was a fucking dumb kid, man. I could come up with some more stories. Maybe I'll do another video once I think of some more goofy-ass stories. But another really embarrassing thing that happened to me wasn't when I was a kid. It was where I used to work. I worked in security for a manufacturing plant. I'm not going to say who, but main, big, 5-star, world-class company. And I was security for this company. It was real mature. My job. I worked overnight security, right? So I had to do stuff to stay busy, keep myself occupied. One of the things I did, we had a tape recorder there too for recording. It was attached to the phone, and we would use, you know, like if you get a threatening call, you could record it and get, you know, evidence. And so when I was out on my patrol, I turned the recorder on and covered it up so that my partner wouldn't know. And one of the things that we had to do was page people too, you know what I mean? We worked the phones like the operator, and people would call and want to page the mechanic, and so I got a tape of him paging a mechanic to a certain area. And so when he was out on his patrol, I listened to the tape and I got that, and so I paged using that tape. And so I was thinking it'll be funny because he'll think that he, you know, like, that sounds like me paging. Besides the fact that the mechanic will go over there and they'll be like, oh, I didn't want you over here. But that's not the embarrassing story. That's just a funny one. That's the kind of shit I did. And so I called a random extension. And most of the extensions, of course, it was in the middle of the night, most of the extensions goes to voicemail. So I called this random extension, and I was going to leave a goofy message to make them be like, what the hell? And I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking about that cartoon, Grape Ape. If you remember that, you might not, because it's from way back when I was little. And he goes, Grape Ape, Grape Ape. But that's what I was thinking when I called him. But I didn't want to say Grape Ape, so instead I was just like, ape, 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 ape. And then I hung up. And I was thinking, they're going to come in the morning and listen to their voicemail, like, what the fuck, you know? And I forgot about it. And so I come in the next night, and my supervisor said, "Hey man, I had a bit of a issue I want to let you know about. He told me this Nigerian engineer who worked there had reported a racist incident." And I forgot all about that call, right? And I was like, the fuck? You know, because, yeah, it's Missouri, but, you know, we didn't have that kind of thing happen, really. So I was like, well, what happened? And he goes, well, somebody left him a racist voicemail calling him an ape. And so, of course, I had to keep my shit together, like, act surprised, like, what? Man. I was like, what, you don't know anything else about it? Hoping, like, I hope not. And he said, well, we have the recording of the voicemail, but, you know, there's no way we are able to trace what extension it came from, which was a good thing, because I didn't try to cover my tracks at all. I called from the damn security desk, right? And so he let me listen to it, and it was like me going, oop, 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 just like that, so you couldn't tell it was me, thankfully. And so he's like, well, you know, I told him we're going to do everything we can, but there's really not a lot we can do. So if you know, just keep your eyes and ears open if you hear anything. And I was like, yeah, no problem, you know. And so, once again, you just got to be careful about who you're dealing with. Make sure you know what you're talking about. And that was embarrassing and funny. I'm going to get out of here because I'm just kind of stammering now, so take it easy.